Hi, kia ora, good morning. I'm just letting you know now, they may shut my phone off. It's nearly 7 o'clock. So if I start talking and go quiet, Palantir and Musk have shut my phone off. But my YouTube is starting to play up again, given what I've just posted this morning when I woke up. So God only knows, but it's just letting you know if anything happens, you'll know it was Musk and Palantir and that. But this is going to be a trigger warning for Donald Trump, because it's really not looking good for him at the moment. He's gone into hiding. But I need to start with, I woke up about 5:20. I've had a coffee. I'm just sitting with my second coffee. I've just made the offering to the birds. I've got a whole new pile of birds that have started landing around the flat now. So birds that were never here before. And they're not afraid of me anymore. The starlings and sparrows and that, they don't run when I go out to feed them, which is awesome. They don't even move. So I love that. So the birds aren't, they're used to me. They actually wait outside for me to feed them now, and if I'm late, they yell at the window. And in my culture, birds represent either messengers of God or God in bird form. Um, I'm a little bit nervous to say what I have to say, but it's like all in, right? If I'm going to do it, if I'm going to double down, just every time I post now, I know that they're getting angrier and angrier with me because of the things I'm posting and the people I'm bringing in on this investigation. But like I said the other day, I'm tired of the threats. I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut. I feel strong now. I feel like the Iron Giant. I feel like I'm a walking weapon for God's holy war. And I can't be afraid. I can't live in fear of what they're going to do to me, because I let them get to me for fear of trying to keep my kids safe. Not just my boys, but all the children. Trying to keep them safe. They take a lot of children when they need to pull stuff off. I know what I'm talking about. This is my life's work. And they've got to be stopped. So like I keep saying, if anything happens to me, you know who it was. It will be all of them. Trump, Starmer, Musk, Palantir. It'll be all of them. They will all be responsible for what happens to me. And on Thursday night I left instructions with my son. If I don't post anything for 48 hours, come to the flat, send people to the flat. And it won't be suicide, I can promise you that. People who are suicidal don't plan their future years in advance. So if I get emotional, it's not because of me, it's because of Ivana, because of the conversation she had with me in her dream, in my dream. And so it's not my emotions, it's hers. But I understand exactly where she's coming from. And you need to understand that when I conjured justice on all these people, not just for myself, but for everybody else in the world, the dead rose. As you can see from everything I've been documenting for years, the dead have been rising to help me perfect my physics, but also get their voice heard, from children to celebrities to normal average everyday people to royals. The dead are rising, and God wrote about it in the book of Revelation. The dead shall be judged, and the dead are rising, and they're saying their piece through me in order to help me take the people down who are responsible for what's happening to me and the rest of the world. That's why I'm finding out about like election rigging and that. It is nearly 7 o'clock, So if my phone goes off, it didn't go off yesterday, but it has been happening sort of just before 7. But if it does go off, I will be back. Just wait. But you'll know who's listening and who's messing with my phone. So I've been trying to reach out to someone who I've had a very close connection to for a long time, and I've been getting ignored again. It happens a lot with this person. I kind of feel abandoned or neglected or forgotten about. Like all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, the connection stopped. And I had to come to the realization that, what do they say? What's that saying? No response, no answer is your answer. If they don't respond, that's your answer. No answer is the answer. So it's like, I came to the realization last night that I had to let that connection go, even though I don't want to. I have to, because it's one-sided now. You know, like I'm in it alone, and it's like for real, for real. I always had, puppy, my puppy. I had to let puppy go. And I was sad because it was like puppy was the last connection to the fight, shall we say. So I had to let puppy go, and I said my goodbyes, and then I fell asleep. And then I had this dream about Ivana, and I've been contemplating whether to post it or not, but I'm a messenger, like I speak for the dead, and I took an oath. It's my ancestors took oaths. So here we go. And now, if you see everything I've been posting, now I understand why she came to me. And what she said to me was, because I'd put up a picture of my dream home, and I could just see it. My sister and my nephews and my kids and that having brunch on the porch, on the patio, on the front porch. I've always wanted a big house where I could do brunch on the porch and sit out and watch the sun go down in the summer, drinking hot lemonade and sitting by the pool and the fire pit and, entertaining friends and family and all that. And I found this house that was used in a movie I never watched. I just saw the house and I was like, oh my God, that's the house, that's my dream house, with orchards and a fruit and veggie garden and cows and horses and chickens and dogs and cats and bears and wolves and deer and all that, just running around. I would love to have this house at the back of my foundation. I want to be able to sit over the foundation and just be able to walk or take my little golf cart into the town, into Firetown, and the kids know that they can come to me anytime, and this house is just perfect. It's perfect. So I've been, so then I had to say goodbye to Puppy, and she came to me, and we were standing in what I thought was a field, what I thought was just an open field. Hang on, I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee. And with her little cute accent, she said to me, "Do you know you can call anywhere home, don't you?" She said, "You don't have to choose when you're doing God's work." And she said, "You will get him. You will get him." She said, "And then we all get justice." But she said, they need to know there's more of us here. And she sort of stood back, and that's when I realised we were standing on a golf course. And if you know, she's buried at his golf course. And then she got really emotional, and she had tears streaming down her face, and she had her head down, just like in utter sorrow and sadness. And she said, I can't believe these are the children I raised. They're not the children I raised. And she said, you will get him. And then I woke up. And I know that when he falls, they all fall. He's gone into hiding at Camp David. And I had mentioned in my Trump Biden alligator dream about Camp David. And I also mentioned about election rigging. This was back in 2021, before all of this kicked off in my life. I also mentioned about how I'm sluggish when I talk, which is the second video I've posted in the last 24 hours, proving that Chris was drugging me. But I hadn't connected all the dots yet because he hadn't tried to kill me. And the reason why I was saying I can identify with Ivana is because my husband tried to kill me too. My ex-husband tried to kill me too, but he didn't succeed, unfortunately, like Trump did. And my ex sexually abused me too, and I lost my children too. Because they took the side of the father. But I survived. I still speak to my son Thomas. We just recently got back in contact with each other, which is beautiful. I love it. I don't hold my boys responsible for that, but my boys aren't adults like hers are. And they're okay with the fact that they know what happened to their mother because they're too busy making money and committing genocide and starting wars and not doing a thing to end any of them because they make too much money from it, and trafficking children because that island in Albania they want to use as Little St. James 2.0, and the Albanians know it and they don't want to have anything to do with it. They're not as chill about what happens on that island like the Virgin Islanders are. So it's like if I'm going down fighting, and I'm taking as many of them with me as I can. I had enough, and when I realised every time they switched off my phone, it was having a knock-on effect with me, my courage, my strength, my power in physics, world events and that sort of thing. That's when I started the study into what I call the Archimedes bow. It's basically the theory of relativity. Relativity plus the laws of induction equals Archimedes bow. What happens when you put the two physics together, the two equations together? So, yeah, so that was the dream. But if you look and see what I've posted before this one, it makes sense. But that's the second time now that I've been able to prove that Chris was drugging me before he tried to kill me that day. Except I didn't understand it because I didn't think that the father of my children would try to do that, which is why I think she came to me, because her and I are in the same boat. It's just that I was lucky enough to survive, and the police took my report too, and the police did nothing as well into my sexual assaults and that, because they were all working for the same people. They were all on the same side. They were all cult of Odinist worshippers of Lucifer, aka Trump. And then he dared to say that he's the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz. And so, yeah, he's not got long left, guys. He is going to be found on the floor. I've brought a lot of people into this investigation. I'm just hoping one of them does something about it, because I'm one woman on my own, whereas the people I've brought into it have the powers of investigation and the power of law behind them that supersedes presidential or prime ministerial law. They supersede, they govern international law, and the laws of the Geneva Convention and that. So at The Hague. So yeah, Ivana, poor thing, she was so sad. I let her pick the picture that's the thumbnail. So there you go. I got a phone call this morning from the God phone. So it's out there now, so you've all heard it, I can't take it back. He's not going to be very happy, but they're investigating the Epstein Ranch in New Mexico. They need to investigate his golf courses as well, because according to Ivana, she's not the only one there. They should probably check out the one in Aberdeen too. It's a bit of a mafia move. So he thinks he's so gangster, but he's just evil. So I'm going to go. I've done what I was asked to do. So shame befalls the children of Ivana. She wouldn't let me use the name Trump. She said, just call me Ivana. She said, she said, I said a long time ago that, when all this goes down, the name Starmer and Trump and Musk and von der Leyen and Zelensky and all the people involved in what's happening, all the illegally elected officials committing war crimes and genocide and piracy and illegal sanctions and all that, it'll be like Hitler, where people will drop the name. They won't want to have their name associated with it, because as soon as people hear it, they'll be done. People will come after them. So, yeah, the Trump name will die out with Donald Trump and his kids and grandkids. His grandkids, children, won't want to be known as Kushners and Trumps. And they're all going to be stripped of their wealth. That's the other thing I said. They'll all be stripped of their wealth, and it will be given back to the people. So you need to check out the posts before this one. I'll put links in the description box to make it easier, but I've done what she asked me to do. So let's see if they switch my phone off. Oh, it's 7 minutes past 7. They haven't switched it off. I can't study it if I don't have test subjects. I can't perfect the study if I don't have test subjects. They're ruining my experiment and I'm not happy about it. So, yeah, there we go. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite.